Okay. So I might insert like a gavel sounds later, but just for now, I'm just going to bang the table. Okay, let's bring the first meeting of the cancel council to order. We here today are here to talk about the victims or people who might be victims of the old council culture, and seeing if they should be cancelled, while also not being cunts about it, like not getting over emotional and trying to be level headed. Fuck! I think the fact that we said cunts might have got us cancelled, but fuck, bound to happen. It's bound to happen.
I was just trying to say council something.
It's hard enough just to say the name of this, the council. It's a tongue twister. But I'd first of all like to say that, I mean, just speaking for myself, I'm not an expert on any of these topics I'm about to discuss. I don't know all of the facts, but luckily it's 2021 and that doesn't really matter. So let's introduce the people at the meeting today. So firstly, we have Mr. Thomas Hustler.
Hey, hello.
Oh.
Yes,
Yeah.
geezer.
Yeah, I'm Tom, obviously. I'm sure we all know each other by now. I have no area of expertise, but willing to lots of opinions. That's the important bit, I think.
Yeah, thanks for coming to the old meeting today. And we've got Mr. William Partridge.
How's it going, geezer?
Yes,
hopefully
geezer.
we can get involved in getting some crucial decisions for the council today, and hopefully we can give our opinions sufficiently to a few of these names.
Definitely, geezer, definitely. And we have Mr. Keiran Roy Falconer in the building.
Yep, fellow geezer, fellow London as well. But I'm excited for this. I'm fairly open-minded, so I'm always open to have people's opinions, and hopefully come to some conclusions, give up opinions that don't get us, into any shit or anything like that. So just have to be wary about what you say, but yeah.
That is true. London as well in the building. Got 3-1 on the old.
Okay.
You're from London as well, aren't you? Will? Is it Bournemouth?
No, I just worked in London past 3 years, so I guess I'm on loan at London.
On loan.
So I've done my time.
Now they're talking Northern.
You're the northern representation in the house.
Oh, brilliant.
Would you say you're London? Southern is good enough, I will. But yeah.
The South Coaster.
The South Coaster. Yeah, but it's a pleasure to have you all here. So let's talk about our first agenda on the old meeting today, on the old council meeting, is J.K. Rowling, famous author of the Harry Potter books, and she got into trouble because I think it was in 2019 when she retweeted a trending hashtag that was hashtag I stand with Maya, and it was a campaigner. It was a campaign backing a researcher, Maya Forsatter, who the research claimed that there are only two biological sexes, male and the old female. It's been a long time since I've encountered the other sex, or any sex really. 5 years. And she was fired by UK Poverty, the UK Poverty think tank that employed her for questioning government plans to allow people to self-identify as another gender. In the tweet, J.K. Rowling, she said, along with sharing the hashtag I stand with Maya, she tweeted, "Dress however you please, call yourself whatever you like, sleep with any consenting adult who'll have you, live your best life in peace and security, but force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real." Then she tweeted added the hashtags I stand with Maya and hashtag this is not a drill. So what do you guys think about J.K. Rowling? Should she be cancelled?
I mean, first off, it's very appropriate that this whole controversy started off with a tweet, because this day and age, it's just easier just not having Twitter and not putting anything on it. But no, I wouldn't cancel it. No, I wouldn't.
I think if you don't cancel Michael Jackson, I mean, there's no argument for J.K. Rowling.
That's a
Yeah.
big one. To MJ, I think deserves its whole episode. Like that could be a series. That I think that would spark like passionate debate.
Probably have to in a separate category. I think
Yeah.
with
Finding
her,
Neverland Part 3.
Christ.
Exactly, the courtroom drama.
I
Bring
think
it
with
back up.
she's put her views there, obviously,
Mm.
and obviously you have to be careful what you say as well. But that's her views. That's her not trying to be spiteful or anything, or I don't think trying to offend anyone. So I think with those comments, I don't think they're that bad that they warrant like her being cancelled or her getting punished for it as such.
Yeah, and also if you
come out and clarified it as well.
and I think the controversial thing she said is that strictly there is two sexes, which strictly sort of is only two sexes. Oh God, I've said it.
You're
you're
getting
gonna be
into
cancelled, mate.
incredibly murky territory.
Biological though. Like again, anyone
To be
wants
honest, I think J.K. Rowling should, because she's so like high profile.
Yeah, exactly.
I think especially as like an author as well, and there's so many like kids who read their books, her books, and I think she needed to be more like informed and more like aware of this, because you can't go around saying there's only two genders and be sort of that high profile.
That's the thing in it. She's always going to get.
You can't. You just can't. You literally just can't say that.
I
and
think
it's the thing. There's been so much research into like different gender roles over the time. So I think I think they were right to call J.K. Rowling out. I think in that occasion, she was right to be cancelled. But should her career completely go down the toilet for that?
No, I don't think
really.
so. I think if you punish someone once, you don't punish them forever for it, or you call them out on whatever they say.
And
I don't think their career the whole time, especially if it's her opinion. Like a lot of people can disagree with it, and you could say whether it's her opinion or not, she shouldn't have come out and said that. She should be more careful. Again, she's in a high-profile role, but I don't believe in, if you keep punishing her throughout her career and her career goes down the toilet for it, I think that just sends out a bad message. Like you can't make a mistake or you can't just learn your lesson. So
you have to be very open-minded when you're speaking about issues of a like protected characteristic that isn't you. So like if I was to sort of flippantly say something about gay people or black people, or I'm a straight white guy, like I haven't experienced a lot of other things, and J.K. Rowling as a straight white woman, she hasn't, like, she's basically come into war with the trans community when she hasn't experienced that herself. So this
is true.
Yeah,
but also she's also standing up for women. Like, this is the distinction for me.
Is she though, or is she just trying to make a point?
She did something about she's victim of domestic abuse, and she said something about along the lines of men who identify themselves as women, it cause a risk, so they can be allowed to change in a woman's change room or whatever.
That's
they identify themselves as a woman. So I think what she's trying to say in regards to that is it can be a bit not dangerous, from what I read, from what I was trying to gather from that comment she made anyway. But
so
I don't know if there's any.
I think she's probably guilty of being ignorant rather than hateful. So I like.
I think so.
But
I think she's truly hateful. Like, I think she's just like it. She's just not sort of come to terms with that, like how accepted the trans community is now. I think so.
I mean, I wouldn't make an excuse, but maybe take into account her age as well. How old is JK?
She in her 50s. Let me Google.
In her 50s or something, is she?
I've just came up with a point, right?
Yeah.
So, but I think what she's trying to do is trying to distinguish between the trans community and then women, which I know trans people identify as women, but it is a separate entity in some ways. Like on Tinder, this is such a terrible example. If you had an option, if it was split, would you select trans women as well?
I don't know. I mean, I'll select whoever will have me, really. I mean, it's
I'm
been
just going
5
to like
years, so...
but
a good example is Jackie, who I do jiu-jitsu with. She has done a jiu-jitsu match against a trans woman. So essentially, that's someone who's been a man and is competing with born females, and there is certain advantages to that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Tom, I think we had a little mini convo in the comments on Facebook about this topic. I think it was something to do with transgender people competing in sports, and like if a woman becomes a man and now they're competing or if a man becomes a woman and now that's competing in a female sport, it's disadvantage for everyone else because that person used to be, a man, so they still got certain genetic advantage. So you have to take that into account as well, and I think that's what it might make it a bit difficult. So you want them to be.
Yeah, I think my thing with it is we should be able to discuss it. Like that's it. So I think she shouldn't be cancelled on that basis.
Yeah, I think
it should be able to be discussed without people shitting on other people's opinion, or someone's asking a question, like a genuine question, someone attacks them, because they're misinterpreting what they're saying. So, if you attack someone for their opinion as well, they're just going to be even more defensive of their opinion, rather than just maybe considering, oh, hold on a second, maybe in some aspects of my opinion's a bit wrong. So
I think as long as they're not like outright breaking the law, they're as long as like they can say what they want, but equally people can call her out on it like just as much. So
I think it's interesting to talk about breaking the law, because I think a lot of people's problems and the sort of the reason for cancel culture is people think like spreading of these views could incite hatred and violence. And she was sort of accused of this when, and I think it's probably her most recent book. She had a character who was a serial killer who
heard
was
about this,
I think that he was a male who used to what he'd do is he'd dress up in women's clothing before he'd commit murder. And people in the trans community have been interpreting it as it could potentially, cause the readers to have hatred towards transsexual people, or was it transvestites? So that they're the geezers who dress up in the opposite gender, I believe. So just basically sparking hatred towards those groups. I mean, what do you guys think about that? Do you think people have a point there?
It's a book, man. You can do what you want. It's a book.
I mean, in this day and age, I mean, I remember, has anyone here seen The Shining?
Yeah.
Was it The Shining? No, not The Shining. Sorry, no, wrong, completely wrong film. Silence of the Lambs. So
I don't know,
Silence of the Lambs. Two films mixed up, but I think there's some elements that are similar. But the serial killer in it, I'm sure, from what I remember from the film anyway, they was all obsessed with dressing up like a woman and all woman features and stuff. But I don't remember at that time anyone criticizing or coming out complaining at the time saying, oh, this could look bad on transvestites or transgender people and stuff. So whereas nowadays, if you had something like that, again, with this book, then obviously people a bit more outspoken and they'll say, oh, that might give a bad example. So I don't think she should be called out for that, to be honest. But I think, did that book come after comments by any chance?
I believe it did. Yeah, I believe it was. I believe it was quite recent. So I believe it did come after.
I don't think comments would have. So say that again, Tom.
I said she might have just been stirring the pot, but I don't think like you can base a character, which is a character doesn't represent an entire society, does it? You know what I mean?
No,
like,
not,
or an entire group of people.
Yeah. I mean, if people worried about other people thinking, oh, that's what transvestites are like, or they get a bad idea of stereotypes, and that's down to people's own ignorance, to be fair. It's a character in a book at the end of the day. if it's a straight, if it's a straight white person murdering everyone dressed in normal clothing, whatever, you're not just going to see someone like that on the street and think, oh, he's potentially a serial killer because I read that book. So,
or if every book she did, like if Harry Potter started with transvestite murdering someone, then guilty as charged.
Yeah, it's true. It depends how they've written it. If she's written it as like, I don't know, like the reason she's a murderer is because she's a transvestite, then it would be damaging. But if it's just like coincidentally she happens to put on a blouse before she goes out and like does someone in, then I think it's fair enough. I think it's difficult. I think I'd have to read the book first, to be fair. But yeah. So what are we saying in general then for J.K. Rowling? What's that, sir?
We're going to a vote then. I'd be not cancel.
Not cancel. What are you saying, Will?
Right to be called out, but no cancel.
No cancel. What are you saying, old Keiran?
We'll start off with a clean sweep. So I'll go for not cancelled.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Yeah, not cancelled.
Yeah.
I think it just needs to. I think just probably guilty of ignorance. That's what I'd say. But I don't think she's hateful.
I'd say that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so next motion. Right, next motion is John Wayne, the famous movie actor, probably the most famous actor in Western cinema, and he had an interview in 1971, a Playboy interview, which has recently got a lot of press again. And in the 1971 interview, he's being cancelled for several reasons. And we referenced him on That's Why They Were Quality podcast, Bruce Lee series, available now on Spotify. And referenced him on there and how he recently got in trouble for, being a racist. And the point I was making was how people jump to the conclusion without really checking it out for themselves. And I've only recently checked this out. And I think people were right. Yeah, he does seem pretty racist in what he was saying. He says, in this interview, he talks about perverted films, and homophobic as well. He gets that in there as well. He's varying up his offensiveness. He's talking about perverted films, talking about Easy Rider and Midnight Cowboy. And he says, I believe in white supremacy. He spoke harshly of African Americans, saying, we can't all of a sudden get down on our knees and turn everything over to the leadership of blacks. He said, I don't believe in giving authority and positions of leadership and judgment to irresponsible people. He said of slavery, he said he didn't feel any guilt about US history. He says, I don't feel guilty about the fact 5 or 10 generations ago these people were slaves. He said, now I'm not condoning slavery. It's just the fact that the kid who gets infantile paralysis has to wear braces and can't play football with the rest of us. And then speaking about Native Americans, he says, I don't feel we did wrong in taking this great country away from them, if that's what you're asking. Our so-called stealing of this country from them was just a matter of survival. There were great numbers of people who needed new land, and the Indians were selfishly trying to keep it for themselves. It's hard to make a defense for John Wayne here. What are we saying for John Wayne?
Well, cancel. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you there. What you guys saying?
Pretty
go ahead.
indefensible.
What's that?
Go on.
Pretty indefensible, but then again, I'm not defending him at all. I think what he said is absolutely wrong.
Okay.
Also, could you make an argument that by cancelling him, you're going to make conspiracies that not allowing free speech and stuff? Is that a whole another wormhole?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one, that, because I always have the feeling that people should have the opportunity to grow and change. Because if you just cancel someone, people who have those opinions are just going to be afraid to share them, and then they're not going to, they might just be ignorant, and if they had a discussion, they might realize they were in their fault, and they might grow, because people are allowed to grow. Not everyone's always correct about their opinions.
There's a good example of that as well. There's a black person who convinced I think probably about 200 members of the KKK to
Daryl Davis
from them. Yeah, there you go. That's the name.
Yeah,
You helped me out there. Good. So Yeah, so it shows it can be done. So obviously it's easier in younger people where they can change their mindset, get older as such.
What, he
Obviously,
convinced the KKK to stop being racist?
No, he started. It makes
done,
friends
but-
with him.
Oh, okay. I did. Oh, all right.
Was this that film?
he made friends with them to sort of encourage them to, like, obviously, remove themselves from that sort of cult. But yeah, so even in older people, it shows it can be done as well. So you can, obviously, the older you get, it's harder to change your ways than what you used to. But it shows it can be done. So I think it's just giving people, the actual chance to change. So rather than just vilify them forever. But
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree with that.
So-
Yeah, I think it's difficult because he is
Come up
dead.
with-
Oh, sorry, what's that?
No, I was just saying that is a lot of stuff he said though, like with what you're saying, but
Yeah,
there's a lot of
Yeah, it's
It's-
a bit of a dick.
it's difficult because he is dead. He doesn't have the opportunity because we don't know. Like, did he change his opinions or what have you? But if I'm taking him on the basis of this interview, I'd say cancelled. He does seem like a bit of a cunt in that interview, and
Yeah.
it's disappointing because some of his films are pretty good, but yeah, a bit of a cunt.
yeah.
Yeah, you'll see, like, over time, a lot of people from this older generation, like, they then speak and their views become known and think, oh, that's how they really think on the inside.
Yeah.
Separating art from the artist, like, fantastic actor. A lot of his films, are deemed to be like classics, but this guy actually feels this way and, like, said in an interview, this is how I feel, and I'm a massive racist essentially. So
Yeah.
sorry, mate, you're getting cancelled, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. So 2 cancelled. What you guys saying?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't, share his views anywhere as something. I don't know about cancelling his films because I don't know if that's fair on the other people in the films that
Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah,
maybe weren't racist. It's one of them. It's a difficult.
it erases history as well. Like, certain films are like historic as well. Then you can't really erase that. But I'd say cancel. But
So we got 3 cancels to 1.
Well, no, I'll go with it. I'll just go with it and say cancel on the basis of.
Yeah.
just he said, yeah, there's a lot of stuff he said. So it's.
Yeah, it's one of them where it's you can still enjoy his films because, like, there is other actors in the films. It's
So that comes down to what are we saying when we say cancel? So what?
Maybe just not mention his name as much, but you've still got his films, but you don't have to sort of emphasize his name or talk about him too much. But
yeah, the term cancel is an interesting one actually. What does it mean? Because I think in general, when I hear the word cancel, I think like the court of public opinion when it turns on you. Like, for example, Mel Gibson, like it turned on him and then he couldn't get work for like Love Nor Money. So I think when I think of cancelled, I think of someone who's just like shunned out in the dark, in the like it's just gone. That's what I think of when I think cancelled. But when
just
when
not
it's a guy,
given the attention.
yeah, it's just that the public opinion about him's changed. It's like Philip Schofield. Like, when you think of Philip Schofield, you smile, you think, oh, what a geezer. But then if he was to get cancelled, you'd think, like then it's just basically the public perception of him. It's like, are they a geezer? Are they a cunt? And I think that's what I think when I think cancelled. But I still enjoy his films though, because Dean Martin didn't do anything wrong apart from cheating on his wife. You can still enjoy Rio Bravo, John Voight. He's not said anything racist. You can still enjoy True Grit, but John Wayne, don't buy his autobiography. Maybe I'd say that.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, agreed. Kick him off Twitter.
Kick him off Twitter. Yeah. Don't deface his grave or anything like that. But we can call him a cunt now. So yeah. Yeah. That's an interesting one, actually. Talk about the trans issue. Like, do you think if a woman changes to being a man, you can now call them the C word? Because if you call a woman a C word in an
I
argument,
mean, you might get punched.
but like like for
Yeah.
example, if two
They
guys like
detest it.
if me and you are arguing, I'll call you the C word, and it wouldn't be like it'd just be like it'd just be another swear word. But if you call a woman that,
Yeah.
that's like that is out of order. So I don't know. What do you reckon?
Well, I think it would come. Sorry.
No, so God, I was going to say it might depend on the woman, but
Yeah, I was gonna agree. Like, completely depends on the person. Like, because you get some sort of, sort of matey girls who just say like whatever to each other, and then you get people who are like really traditional and then they don't like any swear words. So I think it just depends on the person, really.
yeah.
True. Someone who I used to consider a geezer until I researched more about him. I should bang the gavel. Right, okay, next item of business. Someone who I thought was a geezer because I love the Smiths. Great band, the Smiths. But the lead singer,
Very good.
Morrissey.
Oh, cancel that fucking.
No, that's a straight one then.
God.
Oh.
I'd fucking chuck him in a volcano.
We should have a dunk tank for like the. Yeah. He's one of them. I didn't know what all of it was about. So I kind of like that term ignorance is bliss is very, very true because I didn't want to believe that Morrissey. I always heard that he was a bit of a knob, but I never really read into it until doing research for this. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, come on, Morrissey. It's just there's a whole Watch Mojo video about it. It's like, fuck me. He seems like a bit of a knob, and people are sort of saying maybe cancel Morrissey's solo shit because the Smiths were good. His solo stuff, but
Again, you don't punish the rest of the members, but
exactly, yeah. Johnny Marr's a geezer. He's not done anything wrong. But apparently, yeah, Morrissey has said that Jamie Oliver should serve his own children if he likes eating the children of animals. And when he smelled meat on stage at Coachella 2009, he said it hoped it was human flesh. In 2011, Morrissey said a rampage by a guy in 2011, months after there was a rampage by a guy in Norway, I can't pronounce his name, in which 70 people were killed. He said it was nothing compared to what fast food chains like KFC and McDonald's do every day. 2010, he said he can't help but think Chinese people are a subspecies for their animal welfare treatment. He's defended Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey after all the allegations and all of that has come out. He insulted dance music, which is fair enough. I think dance music's a piece of shit. But he did say dance music's for the refuge for the mentally deficient, so not very nice to people with learning disabilities. And said it's dull. It's made by dull people for dull people. And he's compared like the what do you call it, patriotism for the 2012 Olympic Games to the patriotism ahead of the Olympic Games hosted in Nazi Germany in I believe 1936 I want to say. So he's said a lot of stuff. What are we saying? I mean that's just there's probably stuff I don't even know about. There's not enough time to list it all. He's got busy with he's varied his knobbishness.
didn't he mention some of them in some of his songs? Or was it like English nationalism and stuff like that in some of his songs?
Yeah, I think he might have defended the EDL leader at one point. I didn't read much I didn't read the whole article, but that's never a good headline.
Yeah. Again, don't want to give out misinformation or anything like that. But yeah, I've heard stuff like that. But and he's tried to defend himself and stuff. But I think just based on the amount of stuff he said and the amount of controversy and uproar it might cause, I'd say cancel. Because again, even if people disagree or agree with some of those views, just the fact that it upset a lot of people and just the amount of attention on it, like he sort of knows what he's doing when he's saying all that stuff. But so
definitely, yeah,
that's a lot of stuff to come out with, to be fair. But
definitely, I mean, what's everyone's views on Morrissey? Is there anything I'm missing out from his list of knobbishness?
It's from Lancashire. That's one thing.
Oh Jesus, come on! Can't be insulting the Preston They're Preston,
Oh,
Lancashire.
yeah, I live here now, so I'm kind of like adopted Prestonian now. So
Yeah.
to it.
I can't believe how much he loves fucking chicken too. It's just weird, man. I don't get it.
What? But Morrissey loves chicken.
Well, I mean, he loves chickens.
Oh, right. Sorry. I thought
Oh,
you
what
said
as in?
the live geezers.
Yeah, alive. He likes them alive.
Yeah.
He doesn't like them dead.
Wonder if he was sharing a bill with Ozzy Osbourne. How that would go? That would be that'd be awkward, wouldn't
Biting
it?
heads of chickens and stuff, or
Yeah, biting the
Chickens
heads
and
off the
bats.
old bats and yeah.
bats and chicken stuff.
He's as sort of like as contrarian as you can get. You would say anything true to Morrissey, and he's the sort of person to come back and say, no, it's not. No, it's something else. Because he wants to he sort of like lives for the controversy, I think, a bit too much. So much so that it has absorbed who he is.
He's one of those ones, if you say to him like, oh, it's wrong to like go out and just murder someone, and he'll find an argument for it just for the sake of controversy.
Yeah, I think like it really wouldn't surprise me if Morrissey was like a flat earther.
Yeah, I can believe.
Like if it said like if he came out on Twitter like tomorrow saying, "Oh, I think the Earth is flat," I'd be like, of course you believe that, mate. Of course.
We'll see that again.
That might be why he cancels so many tours. Might be. Just worry about getting off the edge.
Oh yeah, does it right by the sea, they might fall off.
Exactly. Yeah, but it's one of them where when I say cancel Morrissey, I'm not going to stop listening to the Smiths because the Smiths are quality. As I say, you have to separate the artist from the art because then there'd be no one left apart from Justin Timberlake. He's like perfect. But apart from Justin Timberlake, I think everyone's got some shit. But I don't know. What do you guys reckon? Has anyone got any more thoughts on the old Morrissey before we give our judgment?
I'd cancel him just because I don't like him as a person, which is half of the problem with cancelling anyone, really. That usually that's what it comes down to with the people asking for it.
Yeah, sometimes, even if it's not just based on stuff they say, but if they're just not a likable person, or they're not a likable person because they are just dickhead people. Some people just naturally dickheads. Then just makes it easier to cancel them. So especially what he's come out and said, but again, I wouldn't cancel as band members. I wouldn't punish like the whole band, but just Morrissey himself.
Yeah, the solo stuff I'm not going to have a problem with not listening to, but I'll just cancel that out of taste, really. But what are you saying, Will? What you thinking? Cancel or
no, cancel Morrissey.
Yeah.
Just I don't want to listen to anything that he has to say.
Yeah,
I think the world would be better off like without us having to hear anything that Morrissey has to say,
including his songs.
More positive about him.
Yeah. He seems like one of them people who could actually like a lot of these people like they're like the next person we're about to talk about. I don't think they could stir up a rally, but I think Morrissey, the kind of music he makes, the kind of emotional connection people have to it, he does seem like he could do some harm. Like people could take his opinion seriously because he's one of them where they are like diehard Morrissey fans because he does he makes the kind of music that like the depressed, like the emotionally like the emotionally depressed population listen to. Me being myself, 5 years, How Soon Is Now is one of my favorite songs. But he could be someone who could sway other people. So I could see that.
I don't think he could like because he's so contrarian that he'd go up against like he'd want to like fight like the MAGA people and like fight the like liberals as well. So I can just imagine like this sort of army of like sort of depressed Morrissey lovers.
Yeah.
Just like trying to fight. It'd be quite interesting to watch, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'd agree. Cancel Morrissey, but the Smiths are all right. You know, Smiths.
Yeah, Smiths are all right.
Yeah, yeah. The next geezer we got, more of a modern geezer. Oh, hold on, bang the gavel. I shouldn't call her a geezer yet, actually, because about to announce what what the reason she's got on the list, and that's someone I only discovered recently, and that's Doja Cat. And what's that, sir?
No, I was saying I didn't even hear about her till a few days ago. So
yeah,
but, I've looked at some stuff she said. But
yeah, she's been in trouble for she was in a chat room with racist incels, laughing along to racist remarks apparently, apparently saying she wasn't black, and she used to strip for them and she used to say the N-word, but also like going back to 2015, there's been tweets that have surfaced where she calls Tyler the Creator an L sweatshirt a homophobic slur beginning with the word F. You know, you can use your imagination what she said. And also she released a song called Didn't Do Nothing, which people have claimed have mocked victims of police brutality. Yeah, one of them where it's, again, hard to make a defense for her, but I've not seen these videos of her. Has anyone seen the videos of her online doing all of this?
No.
I think I'll go ahead and say I think Doja Cat knows what she's doing when she's doing all this.
Yeah.
I think she started off her career really as sort of like going on like 4chan and stuff like that, and being like the sort of the goddess of the incel sort of thing. I remember, I think that her very first single was something called like Moo, where she's dressed up as a cow, and it's just like the dumbest thing ever. So I think she's just trolling, like she's just trolling all these people. So I would actually say not to cancel Doja Cat.
Okay,
I think she's just
like
messing about, really.
Just a very thorough form of marketing. She's trying to get all the markets, yeah.
Well, that's what it is, because that's what gets you the attention. You know, if you're like really positive person, you know, you're clean and stuff. You've got there's no controversy about you. That doesn't really make money at the end of the day. You know, people draw more eyes to you if you come out and said something that might, you know, either rub people the wrong way or grab people's attention, or something people don't usually like hear every day. But you know, trolling is a thing as well, and obviously that's draws a lot of people. So whether it's right or wrong, whether a person's saying something that's, you know, really like taboo or not, if it gets attention, that's where, you know, that's where money can be made at the end of the day. But
what was it exactly that she said?
See, that's the thing. I couldn't find. I think the videos. I couldn't find the videos online. Yeah, I couldn't see any direct quotes, but it's just sort of like people saying that they used to be on the chat, like saying what she used to say. Because the only videos I've seen, I couldn't even, like, the audio wasn't very good. I couldn't really hear what she was saying. But yeah,
I think she's just a troll, really.
Yeah.
She has a history of like trolling people, so
there's right?
Nothing really to look into it.
Is that right as well, though? In terms of what she says, I get trolling, but then I think certain stuff like probably shouldn't come out and really say just for, you know, attention. But I don't know. That's it. That's if you want, because, well, she's just could be her just trolling us. But then, do you punish that by cancelling her, or is it just a thing where just accept what she's said or done?
Yeah, I mean, I think she has come out and since apologized for it on Twitter. I mean, it's one of them where I do think people can change. You know, even if she did hold these views, you are allowed to be wrong sometimes, and if you are, you know, can admit your mistakes, then people out there who do share those views might see themselves and go, oh yeah, I was wrong as well, and grow from it. So yeah, if that is the case, I'll try and read her apology here. Is this Cat's being? Well, I can't-
Depends how the apology comes off as well. I'd say, like,
Yeah,
depends like, of how she used the words or what she's apologizing for.
it's true. Yeah, and she's pretty fit as well. I mean, that's like the elephant in the room.
Give a little extra points for that, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's like if how fit to offensive scale. It's like where does that lie? But yeah. So what I don't. I'm on the fence with this one. What are you guys saying? What do you
I'm
think?
saying no cancel.
No cancel.
I don't know enough about her, but I'm not really interested in finding out either. So either way, yeah, probably. Like you say, you've got to let. She's only young. She's only 25. You've got to let give her a chance to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
again, not using age to discriminate, but obviously or play favorites. But yeah, when they're young as well, it is easy for them to learn as they get older as well. Especially with her, because I think she was in the limelight as well, like when she's quite young as well. So from that age, so don't know if people advised her to do stuff like that, try and get attention, or if it's just her ideas. But I think she can change from it as long as she doesn't keep doing it in future as she gets older, because it gets to a point where you've given someone like enough chances, and you just know they're not going to change. So I'd say not cancel.
Yeah, I'll go you guys on this one. I need to check out her apology and probably do, as I say, I've done the basics of research. So if I know more about her, I'll probably have a better opinion. But at this moment, not cancel. What do you guys think of her music, by the way? Because I think some of her songs are all right. She's got one or two tunes.
What I would say though, Say So is probably her biggest single.
Yeah.
That's produced by someone who I would probably cancel.
Not Phil
I
Spector.
would cancel. No, Dr. Luke.
Dr. Luke, who's that? Who's that guy?
Well, he's the guy that had that massive feud with Keisha, and then plus like a load of other singers and as well, because of sexual harassment allegations. They were in court for ages, but they were like, "Oh, you can't prove it," so they went with Dr. Luke on it. But how do you like prove something like that? So I think it's getting very murky territory.
Not the right thing for a doctor to be saying in these times. But all other frontline workers and your medical staff, well on to you. But yeah. What about you guys?
All other doctors, maybe not Luke.
Yeah, exactly. All the other doctors. I'll put peace to Dr. Dre, by the way. I think he was doing like he was.
Oh, he's a good doctor.
He's a good doctor. He is. Yeah. I'd take.
There's just been some controversy around Dr. Dre.
Oh no, he's not beat up another female again, is he? Well, what's happening?
Apparently, he has allegations of it.
Yeah, apparently beat his wife up.
Oh fuck! Doctor. Okay, my praise for Dr. Dre's on the fence.
Yeah, I might have to do a separate one for that one. Yeah.
Yeah, if we come back for another one, we'll talk about the old Dr. Dre. Is there any other?
A few doctors, to be fair.
What's that, sir?
You could do one a few doctors, to be fair. Dr. Luke, Dr. Dre, just any other doctors,
Harold Shipman, cancelled, I'd say. For Harold Shipman.
Yeah. I occasionally email a quite controversial doctor in my job, but I don't think I should really mention his name.
All right, fair play.
It's very controversial.
Oh Jesus!
Talk about him, but just give him Doctor.
Well,
X.
we'll just say it's related to a missing toddler in Portugal. We'll just say that.
Oh no! Oh Jesus!
But he's still a working doctor, so there we go.
Oh, fair play.
But
yeah.
I obviously am a professional and don't have any opinion on that.
So we can't. So let's move on to any other business. I'll bang the old gavel again. I insert that in post so it sounds better. But so yeah, anyone else that we think should be on the council? I think before we came on, we mentioned the football team Manchester United should be cancelled. All in agreement with that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to win the title.
Yeah, take that as yeah, that one. Yeah, Manchester United cancelled. All right, so take the points away from them and put us back at the table, top of the table.
Unless see of you, but you know.
City as well, cancel them. There's another one. Yeah, give us their points.
All the Manchester teams, any team in Manchester.
All the Manchester teams. Yeah, I've got a bit of any other business. Your name is William Partridge. Your name's Keiran Roy Falconer. Have you ever thought of forming a tag team, the Falcon and the Partridge?
Oh, good shout.
Yeah. We've all
double team there.
You have some good high flying moves, the Keiran, the Partridge, and the Falcon.
Always wanted to use
birds of war. Yeah, we bird man.
The Falcon arrow, which Hardcore Holly used to do, but yeah, in the game. I remember in the games. I don't remember seeing him do it like when I was watching it, but I remember in the games he used to do it. So
not a patch on Seth Rollins' Falcon arrow. And that is a thing of beauty.
Right after Superplex. Oh yeah, that's
yeah.
Oh, he's done it on big guys as well, like Roman Reigns and John Cena, and they're like 250 pounds each. So
yeah, he was
incredible power he's got.
Definitely, yeah. He was at a point where he was, I think he was almost cancelled or on the verge of being cancelled, wasn't he? When those naked pictures. I don't know, maybe if he was ever on the verge of being cancelled, but he was in some bollocks when his bollocks were on display.
Yeah, basically. I've not actually seen the pictures. Usually, if there's any news of celebrities come out, I'm the first one to look it up. But those ones I actually haven't seen. But yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, nothing happened after that, really, did it? They just carried on with him on TV. I think they probably just blamed it all on his girlfriend that posted pictures. But
yeah, I don't think I couldn't look at the pictures because he already has everything else. He's like a chiseled, he's like he looks like the perfect man. If he also had a huge penis as well, I mean, that's just just the jealousy would be too much to handle. Just
too much, isn't it?
Would it be too much for you, Louis?
It would be. I'd never be able to take a shower again. But yeah, what about anyone else? Anyone else you guys want to put on the old put up for debate on the old cancel?
What about Donald Trump's Twitter?
Yeah, Donald Trump's a pretty.
It's already been cancelled.
Oh yeah,
it's already been banned.
Yeah. We work fast. We just mentioned it. It's been cancelled. Yeah.
I don't think we even have to think about them anymore because he's out of the White House. Life's good for another 4 or so years when inevitably, like, his son's going to run for president or something.
Oh Jesus!
I don't think he'll get in. Not by the sounds of it. I mean, I'll be honest. Even though Trump's out and it looks positive, we still need to see how Biden does. Obviously, I'm not too sure what goes on with American politics. Certain good stuff I've heard Trump's done, or certain statistics that are positive that under the reign of Trump. And obviously there's the shit that gets mentioned, obviously, that what Trump's come out and said, but also you need to see how Biden does. So there's positive Trump's out maybe, but then you need to see how Biden does and just hope he does a better job.
I don't think he's going to be as funny, to be honest.
No, he won't be as funny.
To watch from an outsider, I mean, I think in terms of being ruled by that,
yeah,
I mean, like a caricature of himself. Anyway.
Attention all on Boris now.
Yeah.
Well, that's
it.
it.
No, that's what I mean. Yeah, so Boris is.
He's such a weird one, Boris, because he was pretty much cancelled, but he was in office at the time. So
I'll cancel Boris Johnson.
Yeah.
I mean,
stick him on the council. Wait, are we the council, or are the people that we're cancelling the council?
We're the council determining who should be cancelled.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, Boris might resign this year anyway, so he could be cancelled later this year anyway.
You could fire him shooting with a laser for all I care.
What's that? Shooting with a laser?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's part of the cancel process, but
Yeah,
I mean,
or
we're not
just hide.
advocating any kind of violence or murder here. Not.
no, I've seen
No,
that.
no, just put them in the fridge. He likes hiding in the fridge. Just put them in, send them away. Or
Yeah.
Didn't he get stuck in a fridge? Wasn't that a thing?
Don't stuck in the fridge. It would surprise me.
I think he
Frozen
did.
out of office. He,
Yeah.
it's Joe Biden actually is an interesting one because he's like there's stuff that like some of the things he said like years ago because he's been in politics a long time and he's got a bit
Yeah.
he's had some shady opinions that I'd have to research more before I'd welcome to discuss them. But like, has anyone got any thoughts on Joe Biden because he's not an angel by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, and it's like my brother. He's not a Trump supporter, but
Mm.
he doesn't think Trump is as bad as people made him out to be. Obviously, certain stuff he's came out and said, he's not a good president in that sense. But if you look at certain statistics, apparently, there was no war, or he didn't invade another country while he was there and stuff. And he's just not sure about Biden just because of some of the things Biden's come out and said, or I think, the arrest rate for Black people were quite high. I think under him, or he's come out and said something. Again, don't give out misinformation, but again, not too sure about American politics. But yeah, as you said, he's not like an angel himself. So that's why I've not jumped on the bandwagon and said, yeah, Trump's out and Biden's in. It's probably a good thing, but Trump's out now. But in terms of Biden being in, I wouldn't definitely say it'll be as successful like the next 4 years. We just have to see how it pans out. But again, you don't know how Biden will do. I don't know if it'll be any worse than Trump, but will it be that much better? But
we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
Yeah, just have to wait and see.
They won't
Yeah.
tweet at 4 a.m.
Say that again.
They won't be tweeting at 4 a.m. So that's probably
Yeah, he might be an Instagram man. That's
yeah.
To be fair, Twitter, they must have benefited quite a lot from the old Boris Johnson, not Boris Johnson, what's his face, Donald Trump administration. I mean, he's got loads of likes on that website, loads of attention on it. Yeah. So Twitter probably be sad to see him go. Oh, they cancelled him, didn't they? So fuck, right, yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, maybe it's a hard decision they had to make, but
Yeah. That's a good bit of PR for them, actually. Got a lot more attention on Twitter, and then they can also claim the moral high ground. I mean, that's like the best of both worlds, really. So yeah, they might be sad to see him go. But yeah, so has anyone got any other business for the old cancelling?
Was Kevin Hart another topic we was going to talk about?
Kevin Hart's an interesting one, yeah. So he's there's a whole Netflix series about him. I think it's called "Don't Fuck This Up." I think it's called. Quite a good series, about a few episodes in. And he first got in trouble. I think he first got in trouble for like tweeting that if he had a gay son, he'd smash a dollhouse over his head. And then also he got in trouble for having an affair while he was with his pregnant wife, who apparently, when he got with her, like that was an affair in itself on his previous marriage, I think. So he's had a few things that have come out recently. What are we thinking about Kevin Hart?
I think like a lot of people like that aren't perfect people. Are they? Like, you think about Richard Pryor, he was like, I think he was known for being a bit of a dick. And he like grew up in a brothel and.
I mean, that's not his fault if he grew up in a brothel.
Well, it's not his fault, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need a bit of a rough edge to be a comedian, maybe.
Imagine if someone
and he's a comedian. Why are we putting so much moral? You know what I mean? Standing in some of his jobs to make people laugh.
That's what I mean. I think that with comedians, there's some like leniency there, just because they will come out and say a lot of stuff to get a lot of laughs as well, and some of it might be controversial, but that's how comedians are.
I think the whole thing with the joke, I think it's one of them, like you could say it's a bad joke, but you could say it's a bad you can obviously tell it was a joke that he was trying to make. So I don't think it should be cancelled for that. Maybe just
2011 it came out, wasn't it? Wasn't it the tweet or something? Wasn't it 2011
really?
it came out? I think it was quite far back, as far as I can remember. I think it was quite a few years ago.
Yeah.
But I definitely wouldn't cancel him now for it. Like, obviously, his views might have changed or not. But I also think, if you got a certain opinion, as long as you're not showing any malice with it or abusing someone that has a lifestyle that you don't agree with, I don't think you should really get punished for it as such. Your opinion, which sometimes, but sometimes it's best to keep your opinions to yourself sometimes. But
I think it's
but in terms of
No, I was about to say it's sort of like the kind of comedian that Kevin Hart is. He's very much like the family friendly. Obviously, the kind of films he makes are family friendly films most of the time, and he's like your sort of mainstream comedian who, if you did have a case to say like any comedian's a role model, like you would say Kevin Hart would be one of them. Whereas Dave Chappelle, he said some stuff that's got him in trouble, but I think he probably faced less criticism because he doesn't put himself forward as a role model. He is openly, the outsider, the person with the edgy opinions, where Kevin Hart, I think he does try and pretend to be like he's trying to fit into the what do you call it, the mainstream wholesome
to everyone,
like
trying to everyone, whereas Dave Chappelle doesn't really, whereas Kevin Hart, certain aspects of him might not be as edgy just because he's trying to appeal to everyone. So if you're really edgy, then I think you only get a certain audience for it. So I think that's how Kevin Hart has been successful in that sense. But again, as you said, because he's in the limelight more and he's portrayed himself as maybe a bit more family friendly, then there's more eyes on it, what he said.
Yeah, I think he should, like, because in his last stand-up special, he tried to be a bit more edgy, but you could definitely tell it was like he was doing it just for the sake of it, like for a marketing type of thing, because he would pull back from really going for the punchlines. But he's I don't think you should cancel him. But yeah, I don't think you should cancel him.
He's a comedian. Like I've been to like comedy shows and seen some stand-up comedians that are like I've heard some things that they've said and like how are you saying this? This is so wrong. This is so awful. Like the stuff coming out of your mouth, but it's just part of comedy. It's just part of it. Like I think another part of it, I just did a little Google, was he made some sort of like homophobic jokes around the sort of 2010 2011 era.
Oh, right.
And obviously, like, not condoning that whatsoever, but I think there was a lot around about that time of people saying oh, that's gay, sort of thing. That was it was just a bit more prevalent then, and obviously it's not something that he would say now or like condone saying now, but it's just something that like it's just a bad joke from the past, really. Like it's nothing more than that. There's no actual like genuine hate there, so it shouldn't really be cancelled, in my opinion.
No, I agree. If you start, complaining about everything every comedian says, that sort of, then they'll probably just, don't know what's the word, but they won't be able to then come out and say certain stuff, and then it just affects their routine. It just, the whole sort of industry of it might be affected. So there's some leniency with it, as long as people are laughing at the joke and everything. Then I don't think it's just I'd say obviously, cheating is no one's perfect, but obviously cheating on his pregnant wife and stuff, and by the sounds of it, he cheated on his first wife. Then what you said, that's obviously that's something I don't agree with. But there's right or wrong as well. There's normal, average, everyday people that do that as well. As wrong as it is, you don't punish them forever. So I wouldn't. As long as he's learned his lesson with that as well, obviously, then yeah, I'd say not cancel.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Yeah, I don't think you should cancel him. Tom, what are your thoughts on the old Kevin Hart geezer?
Yeah, no, I think it's just him being daft, and like he shouldn't have tweeted that. He should have sort of thought about the consequences. But like, you know, people make stupid jokes all the time. What should we expect? He's a comedian. It is what it is.
Definitely. Well, the old town hall, I think's got another booking in soon. I'll be there in a second. So I think I have to. So I think I might have to conclude this old meeting. Is anyone else got any points to bring up?
That's
No, not today.
Yeah,
I'm all good.
But if Netflix take us on for they like the pilot, take us on for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Who knows? There could be some other names that we decide.
Yeah.
Maybe get some new council members in.
Yeah, we could do a cancel Amazon Prime.
Get them joined.
Yeah. Yeah, if anyone wants to take us on, we will bash the other networks for you. We're very, very happy to do that.
Yeah.
You literally do like separate episodes on like one topic or one person. So
yeah, I've heard recently they've cancelled raves, which I'm fucking loving. I've been saying I should do that for years. But anyway, thanks everyone for joining me. Thanks everyone coming together for the first meeting of the council culture. Bang the gavel again. And thank you everyone, and hopefully join us next time.
Sweet.
Yes.
Bye, everyone.
good, man. Been a pleasure, boys.
Been a pleasure.
Been a pleasure.
Good one, boys. Stay positive.
Bye.
Bye.
Cool. I think that was good. That.